Hi guys, how you doing? Don't fret, it's still me. It's your old dear EnKaitch, your favorite amateur YouTuber. Yeah. Well, it's me without the beard. So stay a while, please. Don't just skip this. Yeah. Well, this is the first episode of EnKaitch Talks, and this is my 100th. 100th? Well, how is it pronounced again? Yeah. This is where I talk a lot. This is a video in which I talk and talk and talk about my crafting plans, about what to do, my priorities, answer some of your questions, the things that I see get asked frequently, all of that stuff. So yeah, this video is mostly that. Anyways, before I get to that, we have a Discord channel, we have a YouTube channel, we have a lot of stuff. And I made a playlist talking about every profession in the beta. Now, it's the last video before the War Within launch, so make sure to watch those videos. And by now, if you don't have me subbed, come on, you need me. Sub the channel and hit the notification one, because after this video, we go back to a chaotic upload schedule. I might be uploading 2 videos a day, or I might just upload 1 video each week. But nonetheless, you don't want to miss that. So, sub the channel and you know what to do mostly. Why did the character scream? Okay, that was the intro, forget about that. Yeah, we're gonna scrap that. I'm gonna edit some of those out. Yeah. Well, I have 13 characters. I have all the classes because I just like to level each character and class up, so I have the access to all of them. I might decide to main Warlock next expansion or next season, or I might like to PvP with a warrior or something. So I like to level them all up in an expansion to have the access. And that's not much of an alt army or anything, but 13 classes seriously is way too much for me to play. I have no idea how some people are playing 65 alts. Seriously, just tell me how in the comments. Where do you find the time to play those many characters? Like, each character is a lot. Okay, so one thing I like to do when I plan out my strategy and everything, I like to divide characters into 3 categories, or 3 teams, let's say. The mains, which you play mostly, you keep the knowledge up every week. You just log in, do the weeklies, get the knowledge points, do the first bonus crafts, all of that. And I get the 8 main crafting professions on them. It's like all of them: leatherworking, engineering, inscription, alchemy, jewel crafting, blacksmithing, the crafting ones, the main ones, the tailoring, enchanting ones. I think I named all of them. Yeah. Those you play most of the time, and you craft a lot of stuff with them. So that's the main team. And you don't need more than 4 characters, in my opinion, because there's just 8 professions. If you decide to do 6 or 4 professions, you need 2 characters. But you need to have your main team. That's one of the most important things to do at the beginning, because you'll be keeping their knowledge and acuity and all of those levels up on par with every single crafter out there. You play them most of the time. The second team is the support team. Now I have 6 of those and I play them regularly, but not as much as the mains. They are there to support my 4 main characters. I mean, I get the herbalism and mining so I can refine the materials and just buy them from the auction house, refine them into tier 2 or tier 3 and then sell them back on the auction house. That's one of my plans. I could just go for long gathering sessions. We both know it's something with minimal effort. You can just do it AFK or while watching something and making a quick buck with it. So it's just good to have a character there for that stuff. Now I have 4 skinners, and yeah, it's a weird amount of skinners. No, I don't have a kink or something. No. Yeah. Skinning has a rare bait that you just put down and you can skin and get rare reagents with it. It's called Bestial Fang, I think. Do not remember the name. I'm gonna be making a farm on it nonetheless in a week probably, or maybe the first day of global launch, who knows. Yeah, it's practically the new Cobra skin. You go to Ringing Deeps, you put a bait down, and you kill the rare that it spawns, skin it, and you have a chance to get a cool looking reagent that is needed for every weapon in the game and will probably sell for a lot. Now the Cobra skin itself I sold for like 100k of gold at the beginning week, and I was just sad like, come on man, I needed more skinners for this. So I just bumped up the amount of skinners from 2 in Dragonflight to 4 in the War Within. I suggest you do the same, but theoretically it's a good gold farm, but it might end up just something really normal. So do it at your own risk. However, one of the skinners will probably be what's it called? Equipped to do 2x4 farms. Yeah, let's go with equipped. I will be probably getting that one skinner with tailoring or inscription depending on specific farms. Something that I've been answering most of the time in the past weeks to fellow players was that which one is better or what to do with skinning. Well, the truth is we need the specific farm to be able to choose whether tailoring is better or inscription. If the Dark Moon cards go for a lot, well, inscription is the better one. If there is a skinning farm with humanoids around, well, guess what, the tailoring will become the better option. But we just need to wait and see which one is the better farm. There's no specific farm yet. I mean, every 2x farm theory out there could get nerfed at the launch. One other thing I'm doing with my support team is making a leather worker and a blacksmith, because well, with my main characters I cannot do both weapon smithing and armor smithing and mail crafting and leather crafting at the same time at the beginning of the expansion. Now I know in a few months we'll be probably able to do both of them on the same characters, probably 2 months. I would put 3 months, that's my estimate. But I want to be able to craft everything at the first week, because that's where most of the demand is, right? So I get extra leather worker and extra blacksmith for that reason. Now this might be a lot of work for new players, but this will definitely be worth it in the long run. Even though after a few months you can just craft them with concentration and that's just extra gold for you. So if you can do it, I would recommend you do that too. Now I'm getting a jewel crafter, I'm getting an inscription, getting enchanting, a new engineering, all of that because of the tools. Now I know the Artisan Acuity has been kinda nerfed. I don't think of it as a nerf, because in my opinion it's a really good thing to happen. Nobody's gonna be selling their Artisan Acuity anymore, so the profession gear is gonna be way more important now. So less competition from the newbie crafters out there means way more profit for us professional crafters out there. Yeah, well, I'm getting every single profession on this support team to be able to craft everything for myself. That doesn't mean just something like the shuffle that everybody just leveled an alt and would just help themselves to some acuity. No, I'm focusing my main team straightly for the armor and for the spark gear. I'm not going to be spending 40 knowledge points on profession tools, but my support team will first go straight for the profession tools. I will be crafting the profession tools for everyone else before the season begins, and my main team can confidently craft every spark gear at the first week of the season. So I don't think I need to tell you anything further. And I don't need anything more. You see the reason in everything, right? If it's possible for you, I would recommend you get every tool crafter for yourself, because it's going to be very expensive now that Acuity is soulbound kinda to the character who wants the tool. It's going to be worth a lot. Wouldn't be able to sell the Artisan Acuity though, so no easy gold for ya. Gotta work for it. Okay, so in the second episode, if you guys like this kind of stuff, I will talk about how to utilize the support team more when the season launches. That's in 1 month. Every month we're gonna be having an EnKaitch Talks episode number 10,000. Yeah, who knows? But yeah, for the first month, just focus on profession tools and craft the profession tools before season. Now the third team is the passive team. The number of alts you can fit in this category or team is a lot. You can just put your 60 alts into this category, because you won't be playing this team much or at all even after you set the professions up. Now something that I have seen in the community that is kind of a myth is that with your passive team, with your alt army, you don't need to play at all. Well, let me tell you something here, and I have my reasons, because well, each profession needs setting up. That means you need to skill up and you need to just get some knowledge points out of that stuff. That would take time. My estimate of setting some passive alt army type of things are 2 to 3 hours for players who know their world around everything. Like, they have the experience to do everything as quick as they can. So it's not like having an alt army will just, you can just log on, craft something, log out, log the next one. You need to set everything up first, and that will take a lot of your time. In the beginning weeks, that's precious time. So personally, I have 3 characters because I have 3 classes left, so I'm doing the passive stuff with them. If I have the time to do the passive stuff with them. And I'm not in a hurry to set those 3 characters up. But you can set any extra alt you have inside this team. So you can make just quick gold with it. You can craft bolts, you can do alchemy transmutes, you can do prisms with jewel crafting, you can craft box of bombs with engineering. Now all of those stuff are in the passive category. But even that needs setting up. They need like 50 knowledge points, 40 knowledge points, 60 knowledge points. Getting 60 knowledge points is not an easy feat. It's not something you do in half an hour. And then again, you need to skill up that profession for it to be optimized. And going further and further, you want to optimize it further so you have more profit. Like, let's talk about Dracodes. Okay, Dracodes was something that everyone got lots of alchemists for and would craft them over and over. Each reset, they just logged on, crafted 10 Dracodes. They mostly bought the materials of the auction house and would hope that they proc multi-craft and get like 10k, 20k on each alt. If you had the tools, if you had the enchants, if you farmed the materials yourself, that was an amazing thing to do. But imagine doing that with no profession tools and no skill at all, and just transmuting. Even like, it's not as easy as the code is now in the War Within. Blasphemite is way harder now, and it takes time. So it's not as passive as everyone is showing this stuff to be. You're still gonna be needing to play those alts. That's why I don't get why some people want to do 60 characters for Blasphemy. Setting that up will take your time and you won't have any time to do anything else in the game. But nonetheless, maybe it's possible, and this is all my opinion. So just correct me in the comments how you're gonna do that. But I don't see it happening as easily as everyone else is talking about. Okay, that being said, let's get into the profs. Now, with the support team, I covered the Prism and the box of bombs. So, the passive team will be mostly Dusk Bolts, Dawn Bolts, and Blasphemite. Now, you can do 10, 20 ults, all of that stuff with it, but here's the thing. At the beginning, you wouldn't be able to do both Dusk and Dawn Bolts at the same time. So I would divide each character, the first one for Dawn Bolts, the second one for Dusk Bolts, because at the beginning, before the season, we are not sure where the prices will tank and which one is more profitable. In a month, like in, again, episode 2 of EnKaitch Talks, I can tell you confidently if Dusk Bolts are better or if Dawn Bolts are better. But nonetheless, you want to be getting knowledge points for your passive team and getting the tools and getting the skill up so you can just maximize your profits. So that's most of the profs and my comp. If you have any questions, please do ask them in the comments. I try to answer each one of those. That's personally what I think is the best strategy for me. You need to plan out for yourself. Every person telling you what to do and what not to do is wrong in my opinion, because professions are a huge thing that you need to find what's best for you, what comp is for you, what to do to best enjoy the gameplay, the profits, all of that. Let's get to the priorities for the month: the early access, the global launch, the launch of mythic zeros, the heroics, the mythic raid, the keys, all of that. Let's talk about those. Okay, starting this part of the video with the question I had myself and it's still not answered. Blizzard is being vague about this. They haven't really clarified anything. How much of the professions do we get in the early access? I mean, I still don't know. I'm still not sure. I searched Reddit, read a lot of WoW articles, still keeping up with the news, but sadly, there is no evidence that this is gonna happen. All I'm talking about here is speculation, because this is probably the most probable thing that's gonna happen. So probably there's two ways this can go, and the first one is that we won't be having any access to the knowledge points and the specs at all. The outdoor treasures won't spawn, the first craft bonuses won't award you anything and will just award you later at the global launch, which is, I mean, like, dumb. Who would level professions if we do not have access to the first bonus crafts? It's gonna be expensive to do those. So best yet, do them at the global launch and earn the first craft bonus. But that's probably not gonna happen. One thing that is entirely my opinion, and most of the people do not think so, there's been a few and I agree with them, is that everybody references the interview with Ion, and he said that the weekly bonuses are locked away. My take on this is that we do not have access to the weekly knowledge points at the early access. That's what he meant. Everything else gonna be normal. You can get the first bonus crafts, you can get the treasures, you can get the Patreons, you can get all of those. But still, yeah, this is my opinion, and there's haven't been any kind of clarification. So let's hope for the best. Okay, this video is getting very long and I didn't plan on this, believe me. So I talked a lot. My prio, yeah. First thing we're gonna be doing is leveling your main doesn't matter what you plan to do in this expansion, the first important thing to do is to level your main. You wanna do the campaign and you wanna hit 80 so you unlock adventure mode. Seriously, do this at the beginning as quick as you can. Now, second thing you wanna do is something which I haven't seen getting talked about because it's weird. Now the renown is account bound, so every quest that you do will award you renown. Campaign easily takes you to 79, so you gotta do a few quests to reach 80. You are left with a lot of side quests and a lot of renown out there. Because renown is a very important thing to do, my next priority after leveling my main is to level my main team. Now, in my experience, every 2 zones of side quest will get you to 78, and you can just spam dungeons to reach 80. Leveling up to 2 full alts to 80 will get you the complete renown that you can get in the first week. And you have now 3 level 80 characters. So why not do that? So leveling and the renown, getting everything out of renown that you can, is your priority in the early access. Second thing you want to be doing is leveling your professions in a way to get to that spark WoW section of the professions. Each profession has a point where you cannot scale up further until sparks are available, and the soonest we get sparks are week 1 of the season. So for 3 weeks there wouldn't be any sparks. So that's the point you plan to get to. After scaling up all of the professions, getting all of the renown, your main point of gameplay gonna be the knowledge point. I mean, it's gonna take a long time to do this, but probably this is the 3rd day of early access, so you have that full day for knowledge points. Go gather every knowledge point that you can on all of those professions. Now, a lot of the stuff that I talked about would not be done in the early access because we just have 3 days and a lot of characters and a lot of content to cover. So focus on your main team. The early access is for your main team. It's mostly for leveling stuff and all of that. There is no gearing. The normal dungeons are something really simple. You can just get blue gear crafted, equivalent of those normal dungeons. So do not waste your time with normal dungeons. I personally skip them every single expansion, and this is not an exception. Just wait for the heroics to come out. That's the best ones, at least before the season. In my opinion, that's more than enough for you to do in early access. I don't think I get to do even something extra. I mean, in middle of the knowledge points, I should probably go back to my main and do heroics on them, because it's the global launch now. But if you have extra time, get your honor cap, go do 2x4 farming for extra gold to invest in the professions. You can do a lot of stuff. You can just push your renown further. You can do delves for the rewards. There's a lot of stuff to do in the early access that people do not talk about. But I think you'll be busy doing everything else. I mean, I'll be doing professions up until the launch of the War Within, where heroics come out, and I will spam the dungeons for some gear. Setting your support team in the 2 weeks before the expansion is of utmost importance, because without that team you would be just missing stuff when the season launches. So focus on that, and after that just go for the passive team, whether it's 3 ults, 10 ults, 20 ults, 50 ults. Yeah. If you have extra time, put it for those. Now I know every little alt out there that's gonna make you passive stuff gonna probably take 2 or 3 hours to set up, at least for the beginning. But the support team takes priority for me. It's up to you what you do. This is simply my plan and my opinion. Next thing that's gonna happen is the opening of Heroic Raid and Mythic Zeros. Now, at this point, you can start crafting sparks, and it's very important to craft every new recipe out there to get the knowledge points and to just level up your professions to 100. So make sure to use this 1 week and get every profession that you set up in the past weeks to 100. Craft all of the tools, get all of the knowledge points, because you want to be ready to craft mythic equivalent T5 gear at the first week of mythic raid opening and the keys. Now that that's all done, it's the first most important week of the expansion. The first week that mythic raid and the keys become available. Now at this point you should be done doing everything you could to just reap the rewards. At this point all of your characters should be ready to craft mythic T5 equivalent of the gear, and you want to be spamming trade chat, you want to be taking all of the orders for those high amount of gold that you've been just working for. Yeah, this is the point of the expansion, that you just enjoy getting rich. So make sure to have everything ready. And at the end of the first week, we're gonna be having the episode 2 of EnKaitch Talks. So I would be looking forward to your success stories on the comments on the next episode. Now, I know I promised you alternative playstyle of the gold making ones for the beginners, because there's just a lot of people out there who are not sure what to do, who are returning to the game. So let me just explain that quickly, because the realities of professions are just quite different than what everybody is hoping for. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about the beginner play style, the new players, the casuals, the pure gold making style of play, and it's really fun and it's kind of good. The best days are of course the early access, the 2x4 farms, the herbalism and mining. They will award you a lot of gold at the beginning, even not just the early access, the first 2 weeks. So if you do not have millions of gold to invest in professions, which is required in my opinion, like my estimate is that every single profession will take about 150 Ks of gold to set up. When you just imagine that comp, imagine 10 characters, that's a huge amount of gold to invest in. But nonetheless, it's gonna be worth it, and you're gonna be reaping the rewards at the first mythic raid week. Yeah, but that's not for everyone. I see in YouTube, I see in the communities that a lot of people are just talking like it's some simple thing to do. The truth is, it's not. I hope you guys can do it, but a lot of the beginners won't be able to do that, and that will just backfire on everyone. You said go do professions, professions are a good thing to do. Well, professions are a great thing to do, but you need experience, and you need a lot of time and a lot of gold. If you have all of this, by all means, I like my comp the best, so get the same kind of comp for yourself. But if you don't have those, your priority is farming. Now, we're not sure it's skinning with tailoring or skinning with inscription again, but one of those, when the specific farms gets discovered, is the best, and you would be getting a lot of gold just doing that with the group. So keep being on the lookout for a 2x4 farms. Check the custom tab, check the communities. I've seen a few Discord communities that was reserving spots actually for this kind of farms. Yeah, and they're going to be amazing. But even if you don't have access to those, mining and herbalism is a great thing to do. you'll be earning a lot of gold, and you can then invest them into the professions. So start with those and work your way up to the professions. Just diving into the professions thinking you can make a lot of gold and for them to be profitable is not a smart thing to do, because most of the people won't talk about the bad stuff. You would be spending a lot of gold just leveling the professions, getting a lot of the reagents, and it might end up like a bad thing to do. It's a bad investment sometimes. It's just like real life. So if you don't have experience, please stick to the 2x4 farms, to the mining and herbalism, and work your way up to the professions. Do not get fooled by everyone telling you that you should just dive ahead into the professions. If you want to try those, by all means, get 2 of the professions that you like, and don't let anybody tell you what profession to pick. The profession that works best for you is just for you. What's good for you might not be good even for me. What's good for me might not be good for you. So do that. Just check the videos, just see the gameplay, see what you'll be doing, and see what's best for you. And just like that, that was the last video in Dragonflight and the beta. Next time I'm gonna be talking to you, it's the War Within. Ah man, I wish you guys get everything that you want out of this expansion. And for those of you who haven't played the beta, my god, the expansion is gorgeous. It's just amazing. I can't wait for all of you to see it. And then again, we would be having a chaotic upload schedule. That's the best name I can come up for. Yeah, we could be uploading a new video every few days. We could be uploading a few videos every day, or again once a week. Not sure. So best to have the channel subbed. That would support me greatly. Do let me know if you like this type of content, if you want me to just pop up on the screen and just answer your questions and talk to you, because I've been getting a lot of questions and I think this is the best way to answer them. But if it's not something you like, tell me in the comments. I wish you the best in the early access, and I hope you make a lot of fun memories and enjoy the game, because it's just great again for World of Warcraft. I will see you after the launch. Goodbye.